This week we're reporting on a homicide which a 17-year-old man shot a 21-year-old man. It was a gang hit, and it was a mistaken identity gang hit, and he shot and killed an innocent 21-year-old who looked like the guy that they were looking for.
A couple of years ago, they started processing individuals below the age of 18 who had committed violent crimes. They're considered youthful offenders. Instead of being processed in criminal court, they were being processed in family court. So you'd see kids who shot people going home the same day with their mom.
The young man, he was out on bail. He had been involved in an armed robbery where someone got shot. He had pulled a .357 Magnum on his mother after striking her for not giving him the money that he wanted from her. The armed robbery he played a role in where someone got shot. He pled guilty. The judge could have given him 4 years, but instead gave him probation. When I was given this assignment, I went to this family's apartment that morning and basically asked them to talk to me about how they were feeling. And it was raw and it was real, and the strength of those quotes really were what pushed the story from being a police blotter story to being front page, which is what this one ended up being. The fact that the family took the time to talk to us and tell us exactly what they thought, and that their quotes were so impactful, so powerful, so emotional. That interview led to the story going to the next level, which was, putting even more resources on the table. So this story is a good example of how a story that would otherwise be just a news of the day kind of story changes from the news of the day to a topical story that is going to exist beyond just that one day. And it happens when other entities, whether it's politicians, refer to that story and bring it up as something to be talked about or discussed. And that was the case here. The police commissioner mentioned it the next morning and used it as an example of why the bail reform laws need to be changed. Then Eric Adams was asked about it, the mayor-elect. That'll take a story from news of the day into this next category that we're talking about here today. So this story is basically being used as a reference now in politics. It has become a talking point for a lot of people who are discussing these major issues right now, because it's emblematic of the problem. You have the whole problem illustrated in one tight story. Now, if I hadn't been able to get access, if I hadn't been able to talk to the family, I don't think we would have gone to the next stage of, okay, well, let's do all this other reporting. Let's reach out to the district attorney's office. Let's reach out to the court system. I did my one little part talking to the family. There were like 5 other reporters working hard at getting the information for this article. That's why it was so impactful, because it was so well reported and so comprehensive. So that will take a subject that could be covered, like I said, could have been covered as a news of the day story. You'll see a lot of stories about, 4 people were shot in the Bronx last night. That story is pretty much, you can close your eyes and pick a day. You'll probably find that story. I think that's the difference, is the way that the story was reported is what takes it from a news of the day story to a prominent, important story that is illustrating a trend that we do not want to see continue. So yeah, it's going to take a while before any changes happen with bail reform, but we want these details to come to light so that people know what's going on.